process, but we'll see what happens. I work through it. And I hope that you are too, if you're on here. Oh, Laura's getting ready for a welcome call, so you're going to have to hop off when you can. But thanks so much for stopping in. Um, so, anyway, if you're new to Periscope or been watching like I was doing for a while, I really, really encourage you. Yes, Laura, you can always use a positive mindset for writing or for anything that we do in business or life in general. It's really important and it can be a life changer in so many ways. Um, so, if you are new to Periscope, I encourage you to jump in if you haven't already and just broadcast. If you don't like how it comes out, just delete it right away, delete it later, whatever you want to do. But it's really kind of fun, and I did hop off the last one because the chat wasn't working, and it's really all about being able to chat and connect with people live. So I really don't want to broadcast just to speak and not have any return. So thanks for the hearts. I know that you're listening. I am a writer and editor and a coach, and I help people get their message out into the world. Here is my website, debcoleman.com. If you want to check that out and get to know a little bit more about me. I have a free gift there if you're interested called Ready, Set, Write that helps you set the stage for writing, begin to get the words flowing, and then begin the self-edit process so that we can do a lot of that on our own and look at all the 3 stages to writing or good copy, any kind of copy really. So at Deb Coleman Writing is where you can find me on Periscope and on Twitter. So I hope you will. I hope you'll follow me. I hope you'll share this if you find it of value. And let's jump in. Please also ask questions as we go along. You may have a lot to add or specific things that you want to talk about, so let me know. I want to talk about mindset. I had a coaching call with a client today, and we were talking about mindset, which is really always step 1, I think, of when we work on our writing. And sorry, I'm distracted. There's a bee right by my hand. Hopefully you're not going to get stung here. Having a good mindset, a positive mindset to begin our writing. And whether we liked writing in school or we had good messages about it or not can affect what we do today, even many years later. And the real good news about that is that we can change that. So just because that was our mindset in school or just as we approach this aspect of our business or our work, we can change mindset and turn it around. And it has a very significant impact on the quality of our writing, how easy we can write, and how targeted we can be with our message to who we want to reach. So I really encourage people to take a look at that before they start to write. And some of the ways we do that is just think about your reason for writing and your purpose of why you are writing. Why you're writing your particular blog post, why you're writing something on your website, why you're writing a sales page. There's the obvious answer, well, I want to sell my program, or I want people to know who I am when they come to my About Me page on the website, but dig deeper than that. The more you go with the why, the more clear you're going to get on your message, the more clear it's going to be what you need to be writing when you're writing anything related to your business. So why do you want people to get to know you? Because you have a gift that you want to share. And that's where your passion really is. And that's what you have to tap into when you go to write something for your business. So get that top of mind, write it on your paper or on an index card or at the top of your computer screen when you go to write, and refer back to it as you write. Am I doing that as I'm writing? Am I remembering what my reason is for writing and who my target people are? Envision them across the table from you. Write to them the way you would talk to them. And if you need to, just talk it out. Sometimes it helps to talk it out and then go and write it out after. But if you have negative mindset going on, it's important to do a few things with that. You want to stop it, rewind it, delete it, and replace it with something more positive. So it's not enough to just have that negative mindset that says, I don't feel like writing, I don't like this, I hate it, I'm not good at it. You not only need to stop it, but you need to replace that with something more positive. So it might sound silly, and maybe everyone doesn't believe in affirmations or their effectiveness, but they are effective. They really are, and it's certainly worth a try. If you need to do writing for your business, which we all usually have to do some, we might as well make it easier. So try to shift your focus and think about the ways that it's going to flow more for you, and then stay in that place, that zone of why you're writing what you write, who you're writing to. Thanks for the hearts, and and make sure that you don't lose that. It's helpful to write it down as you're doing it too. Uh, the writers that I work with are at all different skill levels, from beginning to published authors, and mindset can still play a role for them in some way. With then break it down more into smaller steps. So it could be an outline format, or it could just be bullets. I don't particularly like outlines myself. That's one of my mindset things that I kind of got hung up on. Is it Roman numerals? Is it this? Is it that? And it used to kind of impede my writing. So what you really want to do with the strategies is make sure it's working for you, and know that it's very individualized. Hi, Katie. Thanks for joining. We're talking about writing and organizing our thoughts before we write. So use an outline if it works, but make it fit for you. Some people can write a 4-page outline. Oh, that's fine. It's for being late. We're glad you're here. You write a 4-page outline and you haven't started your actual writing process. So, I'm not always sure it's helpful to get too hung up on that piece, but jotting down the main points so that you can go back and look at it and see if you've answered those things, that is helpful to some. So find your place and use it. I do like to write bullets. So if I think I'm writing a blog, or I'm writing a sales page or something like that, or organizing a program that I'm going to be offering my clients, I will jot down the headings or bullet points of what I hope to accomplish. And then just get writing. And there's a lot we could talk about. We did yesterday in a scope about setting the stage, and that means just to think about all the conditions around you before you write, where you are, what time of day it is, if you're hungry, thirst. That's not always in our control. So the other outlines I do to organize my writing, or steps, are to then just write, and don't stop. Don't edit while you're writing. There's plenty more time for that later, but it can really get in the way of the flow. And if you get in the zone, you want to keep going. Don't get hung up on wording. If you're writing for a publication, do not get hung up on word count. I've worked with people who have had very long articles that had to be pared down almost in half. We do that during the editing process. Don't do it during your writing process. And the other way around, if you write something brief and you want to expand it, just get it down on paper. You can come back later and expand. So don't think about word count. Really, don't think about grammar. Don't think about punctuation. I mean, if for your final product you do want to think about that. So if you're tuning in late, don't get me wrong, those things are important. But they're not important as you're starting the writing process. When you start, you want to just start, and you want to keep going as long as you can. So the other suggestion I have for people is, if they feel, thanks for the hearts, that they get stuck with writer's block, don't let yourself get stuck there too long. So try some of the strategies that we've talked about, like to reset the stage. So change it up. Change your place that you are in your home or your office. Change whether you're writing on a pad of paper or writing on the computer. Play around with it for a little bit. Look at your purpose again, but don't stay in the stuck. Get out of the stuck as fast as you can. If you can't seem to plow through it, I really suggest stepping away and setting another time. Maybe it's 15 minutes later or half an hour later. Maybe it's tomorrow. But there's no sense sitting there for hours with a blank screen, or papers that you just keep crumpling up and throwing out, because I feel like then you're imprinting a more negative experience on the writing, and you don't want to perpetuate that. We want to learn how to address that and move away from it. So just because you had writer's block in the past does not mean you're going to have it today. Remind yourself that when you sit down to write. And if you have it today, it doesn't mean you're going to have it tomorrow. So really try to look at things individually, and address them one at a time, and keep mindset top of mind because that's something that you can change. As you write, you want to keep writing, and when you think you're finished, you then want to step away and not look at it for a while. You don't want to do your editing um, right after you write. If you can help it, you want to save it till tomorrow. And then there are a whole lot of strategies we'll go into in another scope about how to edit your work. So do stay tuned if you want to talk some more or hear some more about how to edit your own work. We can do quite a bit. We can trick ourselves into thinking it's something new and that almost like we're editing it for someone else and stepping into the reader's shoes. Um, and that's another point actually about the reader's shoes. You want to get in there when you're writing too. So as you're writing and you're thinking about that person, use the words that they use. Sometimes we can get hung up trying to sound more of an expert or feel like we need to establish our expertise and prove what we know, and that's fine, but sometimes it can come across that we're writing above the people we're trying to reach, and that really is not that effective in the long run. So write the way you would talk to them, write in language that they understand, stay away from jargon. Watch yourself if you're in a certain specialty where there is a lot of jargon or abbreviations, and don't assume that the reader knows what they are. So make sure you want to spell those out and you want to be clear with your message and keep your message simple. Online, you have to keep your message concise. Does anyone work out and then write? Yeah, people, please respond if you do. That is one of my tips actually. The pre-writing includes getting things off your mind or getting your body moving before you sit to write, if that's a thing that works for you. So it really kind of just depends on where you're at. But I often suggest that people meditate or spend some time breathing or go for a walk or do something physical before they write. It often helps clear the mind a little bit. So thanks. That was a good question to put out there to everybody. Anyone else have strategies that works for them when they write, or things that they have developed over time that you want to share with other people or ask about? All right. Um, I just want to remind you again, if you would like some help getting started with your writing, I do have a free gift on my website. It's called Ready, Set, Write, and it's some of what we talked about today, plus it goes a little more in depth into some of the areas of editing and setting the stage and doing your writing. And you can find that at debcoleman.com. That's when I'm clearest. Oh, Katie, meaning after you work out, that's when you're clearest? I'm pretty sure that's what you mean, and that's awesome. Oh, you're very welcome. You can find me here at Deb Coleman. I hope you'll follow me and or share this if you found it helpful.